It's time to get your geek on.
You complete me.
With Dave Gramillion.
All right. Welcome here, everybody, on a beautifully wonderful Sunday afternoon. My name is Dave. We got breaking news this hour on Get Your Geek On, so you'll want to listen in here. I am Dave. You have found one of the most listened to talk radio shows for geeks in the United States, powered by the Texas Renaissance Festival. Over 650,000 people are going to be attending the event, and it's ending November 25th. That is literally around the corner. If you're going to go, you better go now. And that's, you can go get your tickets over at texrenfest.com. This is Season 3, Episode 23. And today on Freedom 1160 and freedom1160.com, we have a guest in-house. Bob Wills has returned to us. Apparently, the restraining order didn't take. He decided to wander back over here once again. We're going to recap the Celebrity Fan Fest, the awesomeness of that weekend, and we'll talk about his upcoming FANRAISER.
So the restraining order only works when the person who got the restraining order wants it to work. He got it on you. So he can come within 500 feet of you.
It's the other way around.
Exactly.
That doesn't work.
So I'm ignoring him. He owes me money. I'm here to collect.
Oh, God help us. We do have our weekly poll. We want to reveal the results to y'all. The poll, which we did on Facebook.com/GYGO radio, the poll was, now that Stanley has passed, and we'll get into that. The big question was, would you support continuing his cameos in future movies, but he's digitally inserted? It's using CGI only, something along those lines. And we'll reveal our poll results. Nearly 1,800 people voted on that one, and we only got it up 2 days ago. That's my bad. Sorry about that. I got that up a little bit late.
Dave, breaking news. I understand they have filmed 12 additional scenes already to use in the future.
12
additional scenes.
Well, okay then.
I know he did not. He's going to be in Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Yes.
And he's going to be in Avengers 4.
Yes.
That's all I know.
I wasn't sure if he was in the others.
I think they knew, and they wanted to carry his legend on. And I understand my geeky stepdaughter, 19, who is into the dark web of all this stuff. And she says they have filmed 12 segments that they can use for Guardians, they can use Avengers, for anything, Spider-Man's, anything they want.
Wow, okay then.
I'm okay with that.
Very cool.
I am too. It's better than some type of CGI stuff.
Now, we will talk about Stan Lee's passing, the event out Alamo Drafthouse, as well as some tributes that were not exactly kosher. We're gonna some people got some backlash on their tributes to Stan Lee.
Army Hammer.
Yeah, that too. Also, is superhero TV burnout a thing? We talked about this in May of this year. We said it was going to be too much. We warned y'all it was going to be too much, and now we've got numbers saying it's going to end up being too much. So brace yourself for that. So let's go ahead and let's bring on our guest here. He is the CEO and founder of PMX Events. You can find their website, pmxevents.com. He was running all over the place. He must have run 37 miles over the weekend at the Celebrity Fan Fest. Please welcome into the studio, welcome back into the studio, Mr. Bob Wills. Hello, sir. Welcome back.
Let me run right in.
And we do those little sound effects like they did in the 20s and 30s.
Monty Python.
I'm on a geek show, and here I am in a coat and tie.
I know, right? And it's not even a geeky tie.
Well, we had Robert
fancy.
We had Councilman Trevino here in a coat and tie.
Well, that's true. But what I love is he wore the pass. It says sponsor
Hold
VIP.
Hold it up for the camera. There we go.
Yeah, you'll see it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GYGO radio. He's wearing this sponsor VIP pass. I imagine that's one of a kind. I was expecting you to say something like evil overlord or your savior, your god, something like that. Sponsor VIP.
Ruler of Apocalypse.
SOBOB.
Yes.
Actually, my staff doesn't call it Celebrity Fan Fest. You know what they call it?
Well, what do they call it?
Babacon.
Babacon. Oh, I like that. Very cool.
Yeah,
very
that's
cool.
That's next year.
Yes. I love it.
Babacon.
And instead of statues, we saw these 8-foot, 9-foot statues of the Hulk and Spider-Man and Superman. It'll just be Bob in different poses. You have a statue of Bob in this pose, a statue of Bob in that pose.
I saw a picture on the Celebrity Fan Fest Facebook page. Bob, Jason, and Ray looked like they were having fun.
Yes. Where y'all
photo op booth?
Yes.
Is that where the bar was also? Is that?
No. If you look at our video we have on Facebook, you can see.
The pose is just awesome. I love that one.
Yes.
You know,
well, you didn't ask. So why? Now, last time I was here, I didn't have a coat and tie on. You're saying,
that's true.
Bob, why do you have a coat and tie?
Yeah, I'd love to know why were we feeling very underdressed?
Well, he may have cheetah underwear on. Maybe you're going commando. I don't know.
It could be. Who knows?
Yes.
I will never tell.
Yes.
Dave's just glad I'm wearing pants because you're here.
Yes.
So why?
No, it was today. We were honored. One of our businesses, the PM Group, San Antonio Business Journal, named us, gave us a Philanthropy of the Year award.
Philanthropy of the Year award.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Okay then.
Yes.
For
small businesses.
Okay.
And it's really funny because we're a $22 million company, but their award, if you're not like over $100 million or $500 million, so but $22 million. So
basically anybody not USA.
Or Valero or HEB or something like that.
Well, congratulations. That's tremendous.
Thank you.
All right.
So, usually it's weddings and funerals.
Oh yeah, a little celebrate music. Philanthropy of the Year award, and we'll talk about. Believe me, I got a couple of questions about how that philanthropy is going to contribute. Keep going on here.
Yes.
But I want to talk. Let's kind of recap the Celebrity Fan Fest because you told me that you've been waiting since 2015 to kick this thing off to really see it come to life. So, in regards to running an event of this size, what do you know now that you didn't know in October when you came in and sat with us?
Are we able to use mild profanity on the show?
FCC regulated.
Okay. Well, Mother Nature was a biatch.
Yeah, that worked.
Okay.
Yeah, that works. That works.
Yeah. All the rain and cold weather. Look at how beautiful it is today. It's like 68 degrees, and we wake up and we go over there, and it's nasty, cold, and rainy. And then the state of Texas closed down the big giant interchange, and so it was one of those things. Nonetheless, what did I learn? There's been so much speculation on Rate That Comic. A lot of great comments. People said, how many people were there? Well, in all, our attendance is 7,800 people.
Wow.
Over the 2 days.
Okay, good.
The thing that we learned, which was my mission, and it wasn't something that you advertised to the fans ahead of time.
Sure.
It was. So here we have a staff of 60 people, and we had 203 volunteers. We wanted them to go through a dry run to learn how to do this before we go up to the next level. You don't go into Major League Baseball without going to AA, single A, triple A. There's some people that are miracle. Nolan Ryan probably went from high school right into, or maybe he was at Texas, I don't know. Anyways, some players then go right into the major leagues. Very rare. But we did things in a major league way. In a controlled environment. We had a great venue, but the marks that we got from people, the photos. You went in that booth, you came out. You got your photo. It was right then and there. Our staff, how they interacted, how they got everybody around. How the graphics, how we pulled off. I don't know. You tell me. The theater room where we did all the panels. That we had great screens, great presentation, great sound. We worked with a lot of vendors. Our ticketing vendors, our photo vendor, our audio video, and then the unique things. I read one article and said that they had animals, a sloth, a viper snake, and you know what? Did you see the people around that booth?
Oh, they were all over the place. They loved it.
So one of the things that we say at PMX events, our tagline is, defining the difference between memorable and unforgettable. Nobody's gonna ever forget Jason. E-channel, it's gone all over the world, him having that viper around his neck.
Oh, yeah, that big old fat python. I mean, that was like this 10-foot Burmese python all draped around. The ladies love that part. They got to kick out of that one.
Yes, Jason is beloved. So what did I learn? The other thing I learned is we made some new friends. It was really amazing, when I got up Monday morning and I got an email from the folks at the William Morris Agency, their PR team and the agent, and they said, "We never thought you could pull this off in 4 weeks. And you did it." That's what they said. You did it. And everything went well, from security of our folks. Although I was a little bit nervous Saturday night when Jason started wandering around out on the vendor floor. Yeah. And his agent had told me that he likes to go out on the floor at the end of the night. And
but wouldn't Jason Momoa be bigger than some of the bodyguards?
Well, friend of the show, Juan Gonzalez was one of the security guys.
Oh, yeah, okay, I can see that.
I guess I can show this here, folks. Here's Jason out on the floor
he's gripping
buying
one of those
swords.
Huge swords.
He bought $7,000 worth of swords.
That's a lot of swords.
Yes, he bought a lot of swords.
No wonder why that vendor was so happy when I saw him on Sunday.
Yeah, and then then the woman who had the Iron Throne.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I ran into her at Wizard World, and I said, "Hey, you got to come to our show." And she's from Louisiana. They drove 10 hours, and
I have that picture.
I don't know. Yeah, okay, you have that one.
Jason Momoa actually sits in.
Yep.
Khal Drogo is sitting on the Iron Throne, essentially.
Everybody's seeing that, but that's the PG version.
Right, that's the PG version.
The other version is right here, is when he first sat down, Jason leaning back, and he's getting his favorite Guinness draft.
He's getting his drink on.
Yeah,
he's getting his drink on.
His favorite adult beverage there.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, Momoa, unbelievable class act.
Yes.
Ray Fisher, unbelievable class act. Not just class, but love for their fans. It has, and I hope it never changes. It doesn't go to their head, but they certainly were fantastic in every step of the word. Every step of the word.
Every step of the way.
Every moment of the word, every syllable of the word, every day of the word.
Absolutely.
They were wonderful, and I got. People don't know this. We redirected Jason because of the fires. Joe Flanagan lost his house. Jason's family had to be relocated, and there was a time when we thought on Friday we were going to lose him.
Yeah,
which would have been completely understandable.
He'd fly. Oh,
yes,
sure.
Because he couldn't reach his family, and because the mountain where they lived out there, the fires had cut off, the power was all gone, so the cell towers weren't working. Mm-hmm. He couldn't talk to them, so they finally got it and came. But he asked if we would send him back to Santa Barbara instead of Vancouver, where we picked him up. It cost us $8,000. You know what? He was great to us. He was wonderful. So I get a text Saturday night at 1:17 in the morning, and I'm not kidding you. And I'll.
Now, while you're bringing that up, I will say, Dave and I have been to several cons, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sometimes just Saturday, Sunday affairs, where the crowds, the attractions are mainly Friday and Saturday, or just Saturday.
Yes.
So Sunday, it's just, you're going there because there's not a crowd. You can do your vendor shopping and things like that because everybody was there on Saturday. I will applaud this. You had an attraction Saturday, you had an attraction Sunday that were not the same.
Right.
And I honestly believe this is the first time I've seen that at a con, and I will applaud you for that, for giving people a reason to come both days.
Both days.
You know where I got that was at Comic Palooza, because they had Tom Holland on Memorial Day weekend on Sunday.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, and that's why they did it. So anyways, here's the email I get at 1:17 in the morning. Hi, Bob. This is Jason. We just landed safely, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for all your help. You did a great thing for me and my family. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to working with you again. Blah, blah, blah. I said back, all the pleasure was mine. Helping you get home for the peace of mind regarding your family and friends was the least we could do for all you did for us. Enjoy your time with your family. So the next night at 5:30, Sunday night, I get another email from him. I'm saying, okay,
yeah.
We got a bromance going on.
What else could he say?
Seeing my family at that time meant so. This is when he's now getting on a plane to go back to Vancouver to restart filming.
Right.
He says, great time getting the fans. Hopefully I'll be back soon. Thank you so much again. Bob, you're the man. So, thanks. Okay. Great.
That's a pretty good Jason Momoa
impression. By the way,
impression,
the series that we're talking about is The Frontier on Netflix.
Yes.
That is the series.
So, 2 hours later,
Another one comes in.
And I hadn't seen it, so it was about 9 o'clock Sunday night. I've gone home trying to soak my feet, my back, whatever. I'm so tired. All those, what did you say, 137 miles I walked?
Yeah,
sure, 137, yes.
By the time the show's over, it'll be 512.
Yes, no doubt. 401k.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So I get another email, another text. Says, I can't thank you enough. It was a special you did thing for me. And for a man who has it all, I would like to invite you to the Aquaman premiere on December 19th in Sydney, Australia.
Ooh.
Nice.
He's going to fly you out there, right?
Now, I have a question. Can you take a +1, and can that +1 be me?
No, shotgun. A shotgun. I call shotgun right there.
There you go. There you go. Got to have bodyguards, right? So here is a generous man who is a loving man. And, we think of he's this big, hulky, guy, and all the roles that he's played in everything he's done. Stargate, Game of Thrones,
Baywatch.
and now is Aquaman.
Oh, yeah.
And here he is, and he is a nice guy. My wife says I'm having a bromance.
I can see that.
I'm okay with having a bromance with Jason Momoa.
Yes.
There are worse bromances.
Absolutely. Ain't that the truth?
Yeah,
that's
really.
outstanding. That the connection there. It's wonderful to see people go out of their way to help other people in need.
Yes.
I mean, even though things worked out, so whatever, but he didn't know. I can only imagine what it's like to be there and you don't know. You don't know if you have a house. You don't know where your family is. You don't know what's going on. You're just in the dark, and that's terrifying.
And and I have to say this because a lot of people said I saw something. Oh, those people says, Ben Affleck, he's still in therapy or he's still in. Of course, he's not there. He was on there, and people said no, he was in. I saw him. I saw him this weekend.
Oh yeah.
And people were saying things about him, and I got to tell you something. He was nice as can be.
Okay.
Nice as can be. He stooped down to little girls, talking to them, taking questions from them. This one little girl named Avery, and from Bernie, and she had a list from her class so she could ask him a question. And he said, "What's your question?" She says. And he stooped down and got right to her.
Uh-huh.
And she says, "What do you want to ask Batman?" And she says, "Is it hot in the bat suit?"
Ray Fisher answered that in his panel. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, he says it is, but they let me get out of it time to time. But but he was nice as can be. There's the photo of him signing, and
that's so cool.
Everybody that went in and saw him get his autograph, they all came out and said he was extremely polite, extremely fan friendly, and
I was so surprised when I went up to go see him. I didn't know he was 6'4". Because in all the movies I see him, he's roughly on the same size with Matt Damon, who's like 5'9", 5'10". And I look up at him, I'm like, dude, can you stoop down or something? Because you're like a foot taller than I am.
Did you put this guy is ripped like a rock?
Well, he really is.
He is. I mean, hard. I mean, he is hard. And Jason was telling me that when they did Justice League, and then when they were filming over in Georgia, they had this like university gym, and they turned it into a giant workout facility, and all the stars worked out 2 hours a day to keep their strength up.
I believe it. I absolutely believe it. I would love to see him and Jason Momoa have an arm wrestling contest. I think their agents would pass out at the idea, but I mean, how much fun would that be?
Now, in a day and time where a lot of celebrities fist bump. By the way, don't blame them.
Yep.
Completely understandable.
Yep.
Ray Fisher, Jason Momoa, and Ben Affleck all shook our hands.
Yeah, that's true.
And Ben Affleck leaned in and say, "It's nice to meet you, and I thank you for coming out," which he could have just stood there like a bump on a log, put the hands around, and gone. But they actually, as part of the fans, wanted to be a part of it. So, and wanted to just greet everybody.
Now, there's a FANRAISER is what you're calling it. It's not a fundraiser, it's a FANRAISER. What is this all about?
Well, in keeping with what I said, we got a philanthropy award today, but Joe Flanagan, he had to cancel Friday because his family was evacuated and their house is gone. You see the picture. So we started this GoFundMe page. It's easy to give just the American Red Cross, and it goes into the general fund and all that. And we want to support that, but I want to do something with the fans here. Mm-hmm. I want, I'm calling on your audience, go to our fan page. It's on your site. I think you shared it.
We did.
And we want to get everybody to do this. I don't care, $5, $10, but let's show what the fans in San Antonio are like. Let's make a statement. Let's put a bow on this, put a ribbon. We had a great event. That has nothing to do with it. we're going to, even though Joe couldn't come and we paid 2/3 of his fees to come, I'm going to give it to him and his family because they've lost so much.
They have, yes.
They have lost. Oh, he was a star. Well, he hasn't been really doing anything in a long time. And if you saw the grief picture there of him standing, look at blow it up a little bit and see that grief picture of him, and you can see.
I think he even took a video.
Yeah, well, look at that,
yeah.
Goose. I mean, you can for your folks there. I guess you can see there how he is grief stricken.
I mean, it's just gone.
It rained fire. Jason told me. He says, I saw an interview with Robin Thicke the other day, and he said, and around there's houses that are there, and we thought it was like a fire that just blew in. In the area they were, it was raining fire. Jeez. Stuff got up in the air and was coming down, and it landed on his house and burned it down. But Joe is a wonderful guy. This is tough things when people happen, and hey, $20, $10, $5. Let's make a statement about San Antonio. So we call it the California Fire FANRAISER on GoFundMe, and I hope you'll share it. We're going to start sharing it. We're going to go, on Con Culture. We're going to talk to a lot of people, and let's make a big deal about this. And Dave, Goose,
I want
push
to do
this.
It.
Get these people. You made a donation already. We got to really make a big donation.
There will be links in the descriptions of podcasts, videos, anything with this. There will be a link in the description.
Links sent right to it. Now let me ask this because I know this question is going to come up. So the proceeds are going to go to Joe Flanagan and his family, or are we?
I'm going to give him the fees we were going to pay him if he showed up.
Okay.
We're going to give the rest of the money to the American Red Cross to help families out there, and we want to earmark it to the people who really got hurt badly.
So San Antonio, and really we have listeners all over the place, and
all over the place.
So we're asking, just chip in anything, $5. I mean, what's $5? It's a 6-inch Subway. I mean, come on, you can do $5. Chip in something. Let's put together a really, really strong package that we can send out to those who have literally lost everything when it rained fire. I mean, holy cow.
And it still is.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's awful. So anything y'all can do to help out, absolutely. We got to chip something in.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And it would make a big statement. And Joe's going to come back. And Joe will come and personally thank us. For that we did what we did, and that's important. It's really important to me that we make it. And so I'm asking. There was a lot of people that in our first year, we gave a lot of the cosplayers. We gave them some free photos and some free passes, and they saved. Hey, if you got a Ben photo, that's $250.
Yep.
With tax and fees, $268.
It is.
You just save. So come on. $20, a little chinga. Just you did it. You step up. I just would like to see other people. It's like church. Give what you can.
Exactly. Exactly.
If you can do 50, there's some people that've given $100. People give $20. Some guy named Bob Wills gave $500.
Every little bit helps.
Every little bit helps.
Yes.
Too small.
I mean, $5 goes a long way when you're talking about people who have nothing. So even $5 would help. Now, we only have a couple of minutes left, and we're speaking with Bob Wills, the CEO of PMX Events and the Grand Poobah High Muckety Muck of the Celebrity Fan Fest last weekend. Now, you got to see those cosplayers and the fans in general in person at the Celebrity Fan Fest. You saw them in action. And now that the event is over and the FANRAISER is going on, what would you say that the geeks of San Antonio, what impression have they made on you?
Wow. And my wife said, hey, you got to get really close. These are great people. And, there's people that probably judge cosplayers. Are they kids that haven't grown up, or they just want to celebrate Halloween 365 days a year? No, there's people that everybody has a hobby and a passion. And there were a lot of great people that came out there and entertained. You have to think of them as entertainers because that's the way they are. They're not crazy people. I mean, the Darth Vader, what's the gentleman's name?
Chris Leos.
Yes. I mean, he's a banker at Wells Fargo.
Absolutely, yeah.
And here he is as Darth Vader, and he's a damn good Darth Vader. Luke. I can't do that.
He does a tremendous. We saw him. He did a fundraiser for pack the bus or stuff the bus. That's what it was. School supplies and whatnot. Right. And he came out and did that also. So these guys, they do things year round. It's great.
They were all great, and they're all very positive, very happy, and so.
Well, that's going to be our cue here.
So I'm saying, as you're going away, you haven't asked me the question. Sometime between April and July is going to be the next one in a nice warm month.
Well, all right, can you give us a hint as to what it's going to be themed? 10 seconds.
It could be Marvel.
Yes! All right, so we got a break for the bottom half of the hour news break. Hard break, sorry about that. We got Bob Wills. We'll get him back in here sometime soon on Freedom 1160 and freedom1160.com. Alrighty, welcome back from the bottom half of the hour news break. This is Get Your Geek On Freedom 1160 Talk Radio, powered by the Texas Renaissance Festival. With over 650,000 people attending the event going on now through November 25th, get your tickets at texrenfest.com. I am Dave Gramillion, and if you missed the first half of the show, we had Bob Wills here in studio with us, the CEO and founder of PMX Events. They were the group that ran the Celebrity Fan Fest up at the JW Marriott this past weekend. They put on a terrific show, and if you want to hear everything that he said, including the teaser he has for next year's show, you can catch that on our award-winning podcast, which is now found on Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Omni, Stitcher, and there's always one for Google Play. There we go. So you can find us on there as well. I want to talk real quick here about the Texas Renaissance Festival before we get into the news. Guys, next week is it. The RenFest goes into hibernation until next year. So if you're going to go, you're kind of out of excuses now. I get it. Thanksgiving's around the corner. You're going to have turkey coma. I get it. And there's so much food out there already. But this is the weekend to go. So if you're going to go, you want to head over to texrenfest.com and grab your tickets. Now, even when the weather is not that cooperative, people still have a great time. People have sent us pictures from when they went out there. I had a group of friends that went out last weekend. You remember what the weather was like last weekend. They didn't care. They still went, and they still had a terrific time. They wouldn't shut up about the great time that they had over at the Texas Renaissance Festival. So go get your tickets at texrenfest.com for the final weekend. Now, let's talk also real quick about our weekly poll results. We do a weekly poll over at facebook.com/GYGO radio. We routinely get 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people to vote on this, and this time was no exception. 1,800 of you voted. And here's the question. The question was, now that Stanlee has passed, do you support his cameos still going on, but with him being CGI or digitally inserted? Meaning, if you go back to like Tron Legacy, you know that Clue was just, that was all CGI digital. They're getting very good with making people look incredibly realistic on computers. Would you support that? 1,800 votes, 51% said yes, 49% said no. Incredibly close. You guys are split right down the middle. Pretty much skewed just a little bit toward the yes column there. So 1,800 votes. Goose, would you be in favor of that?
I'm okay with Stanlee once Bob said 15?
Yes, 12.
12? Once those are done, those are done.
I would be okay with some sort of an Easter egg. His signature in the corner of a building somewhere, a picture of him somewhere. Oh. But I don't think I'd want to see CGI digital cameos.
Oh, well, I'm okay with, created, they do a little signature at the end of the movie. It said, created by Stanlee.
You remember the end of Star Trek 6? The credits. It was everybody signing their I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. I honestly think that should be how Avengers 4 goes with people who aren't coming back.
Oh, don't get me started with that. That'll be a whole nother show. So speaking of which, let's go ahead and let's talk some very sad, some very depressing Marvel news. With some very uplifting music.
You did not give me an alternative.
Nah, I understand. No, it's cool. It should still be a little bit upbeat. It's all good.
I have something I'm going to play here.
I think whatever you do, you should do what you most want to do. Too many people don't really do what their heart's desire is, but they try to do something else because they think, well, it'll be easy to get a job or to make money. And if that happens, then when you're doing it, you feel like you're working. But if you do what you really want to do, you feel like you're playing. It's easier for you to do. I know I wanted to be a musician when I was young. I'd listen to the radio, I'd hear the big bands, and I'd say, damn, I'd like to be a band leader like Tommy Dorsey. But I had no talent for it. If I had wasted time trying to be a musician, I'd have either been a failure or I'd have been just an ordinary musician. But I love writing also, and it came easier to me. So I figured I'd stay with that. I think you have to do what you do best and what you enjoy, and then you have a better chance.
Stanlee passed away earlier this week. I believe it was Tuesday. Passed away Monday? It was Monday. Wow. It's almost been a week now. Passed away at the age of 95, natural causes. When we first heard the news, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I thought it was just another hoax. We'd had 2 or 3 hoaxes earlier this year with people just trying to get clicks for their websites, or those vultures out there. So I wasn't terribly devastated when I first heard that Stanlee had died, because it was kind of expected. If Joss Whedon dies tomorrow, then yeah, that's going to be incredibly devastating and shocking. If Kevin Feige dies tomorrow, same thing. But Stanlee was 95, and I think a lot of us were expecting this at some point. So it wasn't devastating right up until I started to think about it. And when I thought about the impact that he had made simply in the last 10 years, because we talked about the decade of geeky greatness here for quite a while, and how he had spearheaded that, how he had cultivated that, and essentially how that had been the culmination, the apex of his geeky life. That's when it kind of hit me as just how much he has influenced everything. Without Stanlee, we don't have the show. That's not to say that he had gifted us the show or anything. It's just a fact that the rise of Marvel helped to influence the world enough to where we could have a talk radio show. Talk radio is supposed to be for politics and sports. It's not supposed to be for geeks, and yet here we are nonetheless. And here you are listening to us nonetheless. And his influence just went so above and beyond anything that we could imagine, that he is truly a titan in the world today. And when I like to think back to the first Iron Man, when they're giving us a lot of exposition about Robert Downey Jr., and they talked about how his father died, and they said, Tony Stark, the character, obviously not Robert Downey Jr.'s dad, and they said it was the passing of a titan. And that phrase rang in my head over and over again, because Stanlee, this was the passing of a titan. Lots of tributes started just pouring in from fans, from artists, from anybody who had read a Marvel comic book, anybody who was a Spider-Man fan, an Iron Man fan, a Thor fan, Hawkeye, Black Widow, Black Panther, anything like that. All these tributes started to pour in. Not all of them were good tributes, however. 2 of the more notable ones, Gwyneth Paltrow, who, for whatever reason, cannot stay away from controversy, she made an Instagram post about his death on the same post that she was pushing the sales of a dress. It was $615 for that dress, by the way, in case you were curious, which I know you were, obviously. I mean, I know I was. But basically, she's pushing this sale of this dress, and it's like in the middle of making the post, she heard the news or something, because the first half of the post is about the sale of this dress. That's from her fashion line or whatever. Hey, $615 for the dress. And then it says, update, ... just heard Stanlee died. And it talked about how devastated she was and how saddened she was. I found that to be a little classless. I think maybe that deserves its own post. Maybe, just maybe its own post. Instead of, tacking that on to the end of, oh, hey, I want to sell this dress. Oh, by the way, Stanlee died. You may want to think before you post there, Gwyneth. I'm just saying. And then the Brie Larson dumpster fire continues. This young lady, she continues to not score a lot of points with, anybody. In 2017, she was flying through an airport, and she said she had to live her life on the defense because a TSA agent asked her for her number. Okay, first of all, you don't ask Brie Larson for her number, especially if you're on the job. I mean, that's really, seriously. But at the same time, she's talking about having to live her life on the defense because he asked for the number.
So if I just see her, I'm okay with asking for her number.
Well, but yeah, because she has to live her life on the defense.
Well, you said not on the job. Don't do it on the job. So.
Well, I'm saying that made it worse.
Oh,
it's
okay.
bad enough that he asked for her number. It's worse that he did it while he was on the job as a TSA agent. And I just so she live her life on the defense. Then in June of this year, she was accepting an award, and in her acceptance speech, she was saying, "Get this." She said she lashed out at critics during her. She's accepting some award that nobody had ever heard of, but she gets this award and she lashes out at critics for not having more people of color or women among them. Okay.
Know your audience, maybe?
Maybe. I mean, who does that during an accept? And apparently, like tried to usher, like, hey, you want to wrap this up or something, and she just kept going. And she said like 3 or 4 times she doesn't hate white men, and she just went over, I don't hate white men, I don't hate white men, but yet she went on to say how much she didn't like white men. Okay.
Dang, now I can't ask for her number anymore.
I guess not. And now she put out a post on her Instagram saying that she was thinking about Stan, rest in peace, he was such a legend. Only she was posing with a daiquiri in her hand and a purse with a big Brie like stitched into it on display. Look, if you want to do the whole brooding thing, you want to stare out over a sunset, maybe a good view of the city, that's one thing. But she's got a pink daiquiri in her hand, and she's got this big Brie purse on display. What? I'm sorry. What went through your mind when you decided that was the best way to say that you were thinking about Stanley's death? Yeah, oh man, it totally buzzkilled my afternoon, brah. So sorry. Oh, rest in peace. What is that? Brie Larson, again, not scoring a lot of points there with the fans. I mean, she's supposed to be the face of Marvel going forward. That's what we keep hearing, is she's going to be the most powerful superhero in Marvel. And she's going to be the face of the franchise going forward. And here you are, talking about Stanley's death while drinking a daiquiri and posing with your purse. She's trying to start a fashion line, apparently. Yeah, not a...
Gwyneth Paltrow 2.0?
Possibly. Very, very possibly. So, I don't know there's much more we can say about Stan that hasn't already been said, to be honest with you.
2 people that we don't typically hear about when it comes to Stanley. One we probably did. But one was Patrick Stewart, and he tweeted out, "I am very sad about Stanley's passing. Because of Stan, all of us who worked on the X-Men films were always very much aware that no matter our superpowers, we're human beings at the core. Thank you, Stan. Your legacy and humanity will live on in all of us." And then Todd McFarlane, who made his bones on the Amazing Spider-Man comic book. At The Real Stan Lee is the only comic book professional ever to receive a Hollywood Walk of Fame star.
Which... if anyone deserves it, it would be Stan.
I had the honor to introduce him that day. We shared laughs and saw the pride on his wife's face. He was really touched by this award. Hashtag Stanley.
Now, here in San Antonio, also, the Alamo Drafthouse put together a vigil, very last minute. I mean, they put it together as quick as they could, but they did a great job. I mean, there were people painting about Stan Lee there at the Drafthouse. And so much art and so many cosplayers together, and they went outside and it was cold. Oh, was it cold? But they still stood out there and they heard from people. People would essentially testify, give testimonials about how Stan Lee had touched their lives as well. So big shout out to our friends over at the Alamo Drafthouse for putting that on. That was a very spirited moment for San Antonio. And they did something similar when Carrie Fisher passed away as well. So, kudos and shout out to them. So speaking of Marvel, and there's really no good segue into this,
No.
I guess, but...
No, we ended up being sad. Now we're going to be kind of critical, but that's all right.
Yeah,
That's what
a little
we
bit.
do.
So, yeah, we'll get back into the actual, news now. So superhero TV burnout is becoming a thing. And we warned you about this. Back in May of this year, We warned you that this was going to be a thing. So there are 11 Marvel series. 11 Marvel series that will be shown in 2018. Either they're on now or they will be later this year. 11. Imagine if we had 11 Star Wars series on this year. Can we even name 11 that'd be worth watching? Can we name 11 Star Wars series that we... Remember, these aren't movies. These are series. These are multiple episode, season-long series. I don't know if I can even name 11 that I want to see. Yeah, so 11 series, and we said it was too much. I mean, I was dumbfounded back then, and sure enough, check this out. So Luke Cage... Gone. Iron Fist, gone. Daredevil, down 57% in viewership. So that's, in my opinion, that's on the chopping block for season 4. I don't know that it's going to get a season 4 now. And now it's gone over to the DC side, which is really surprising because DC, their mainstay has been, the movies suck, but the TV is pretty good. That's the one thing they can hang their hat on no matter what. Movies, TV, hooray. Ratings for The Flash have dropped 21% to the lowest in its series history. How many seasons of The Flash have we had now?
This is 4.
This is 4, and now they're at their lowest point ever.
Yeah, this is 4 because 4.
Dropped 21%. Legends of Tomorrow season premiere hit 1 million live viewers, which sounds like a lot, right?
Season 3.
So, season 3 premiere. 1 million sounds like a lot until you realize that they hit 1.5 mil last year, so they're down 33%. That's a bigger drop than The Flash. Inhumans, canceled. It's gone. Cloak and Dagger, you even hear about that? Did anybody ever even watch that? Only 910,000 watched it to start, and it finished with 420,000. To kind of put that in perspective, 420,000, that's 1/4 the size of San Antonio. Think about that for a minute. Out of the entire United States, if just 1/4 of San Antonio were watching, that would be it.
And the bright spot is Arrow, when last we looked, had gained audience with its move to Monday nights.
It did.
Supergirl
it kind of maintained.
With its move to Sunday nights.
Yeah.
Because it stayed at 7, but it moved to Sunday.
Yeah, and it's going up against football.
Yeah.
So
after football's over, and especially when they go into the Red Daughter storyline, I think that's probably going to be the second half. I look for those ratings to go up on Supergirl.
Well, we'll have to look. We may have to mark the tape on this one as well to see if Supergirl can kind of bring it up a little bit. So what happened also to the New Warriors? Remember this? We heard about New Warriors. It had Squirrel Girl. Everybody was all excited because they cast the AT&T spokeswoman, spokesgirl. I don't want to get in trouble. As Squirrel Girl. And everybody was all excited because Squirrel Girl sounds silly and yet took down Dr. Doom and took down Thanos. So, take that for what it is. That was supposed to air 10 episodes this year.
They don't have 10 weeks left in the year.
No, there's not 10 weeks left. Reception for the pilot, they did a special screening for the pilot. The reception was through the roof. And I'm using their words, through the roof. That was the reception they got. Mm-hmm. But now it's not going to appear on Freeform at all. Nobody knows where it's going to air or when. Nobody knows.
Disney now. Disney Plus.
Disney Plus,
yeah.
Maybe. We hope so because nobody knows right now if it'll ever see the light of day.
I lay you out if there's some already in the can, it's going to be on Disney Plus.
I hope so. I really, really do hope so. We've talked before about how we hope that Luke Cage and Iron Fist would come back on Disney Plus. They're supposed to have, what did we say last week, 7,000 episodes?
Yeah, 7,000. With the 7,000 episodes of TV, that's just Lizzie McGuire, Hannah Montana, even Stevens, and Kim Possible.
Well, that's true. Yeah, fair point there. So think about it. So we warned y'all about this back in May. It's too much. You can't have 11 series on at the same time and expect to have a high amount of viewers. You can't go to the water cooler the next day and say, hey, did you see that new Warriors episode? No, I was too busy watching The Flash and Supergirl and Luke Cage. Oh, well, I was too busy watching New Warriors and Iron Fist and Daredevil and Inhumans. It's too much. It is literally oversaturated the market. And in my opinion, it's a pretty stupid move by Marvel. Marvel doesn't do a lot of stupid things, but this was really one of them. You can't do this. In the clip we just played, it's like, I can't even comprehend 11 successful Star Wars series. Why are they doing this? Why in God's name would they throw 11 series out there when you already have DC with how many shows are in the Arrowverse? Arrow, Flash.
Well, hold on. Let's go Sunday, Supergirl, then Arrow and Legends, and then Flash and Black Lightning.
So you got 5 DC series.
That doesn't include Riverdale because it's not technically a superhero show.
Well, that's true. And then you have 11 Marvel series on top of that. It's way too much. This is a stupid move that is only going to end up costing money. And I don't understand the reasoning for why you would want to have all these series out there.
Plus, you have Titans on DC Universe, which is actually pretty good.
Yeah, that was a lot better than people thought it was going to be.
Yeah, at the end of the last episode, they introduced Jason.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so it'll go a little bit more into that backstory.
Oh, well, that's some good news.
Well, actually, it's the episode that aired not 2 days ago, but the week before that.
You know what some of the speculation is about the new Warriors being yanked? Is that apparently the reception was so good that Kevin Feige might want to make it into a movie.
Oh, I'm just hearing that they got Night Thrashed. Night Thrasher was one of the originals in the comics.
True, but it just boggles my mind. It really does. And I don't mean to go on a rant, but it happens from time to time. It's a stupid move by Marvel. 11 series when you already have DC with half a dozen more. It's just too much. I mean, what was Marvel expecting Cloak and Dagger to really do? Seriously, what were you expecting Cloak and Dagger to really do?
$1 million.
It didn't even come close to that.
$500,000.
Yeah, it didn't even finish at that. I mean, and it was on, wasn't that on the Freeform thing?
Yeah, formerly ABC Family.
Are they trying to, the only thing I can think of is that they're throwing out seasons on Freeform to try to get people to watch more Freeform. Come for Cloak and Dagger and stay for
Grownish, which is the Blackish spinoff.
Yeah, for all that fun stuff to try to drive ratings, which again is stupid. It's just not a good reason, and you're throwing kindling on a dying fire, praying that it'll catch on its own, and it's not going anywhere, and you're wasting time, you're wasting money, you're wasting our time, actors' time, you're wasting our money and their money and everybody else's money. It's stupid.
By the way, we came up with 11 Star Wars series, but it took us a few minutes.
Yeah, it took us a while, and those wouldn't. I guarantee you, those all wouldn't have been successful.
And we went through the Marvel series by series and what season they had coming up, and we didn't know at the time that they were going to push Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. till summer of 2019. And
can you imagine the outcry there would be if there were 11 Star Wars series? I mean, the Star Wars fans already think there's too much Star Wars.
There's one series at a time, and they go nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, they can't have. You're right. They can't have more than one out at the same time.
Well, no, they can't even have one out at the same time because
for more than a couple of years.
Clone Wars, there was craziness.
Yeah.
Rebels, there was craziness.
Don't get me started on the craziness on Resistance.
Resistance, there's craziness.
Oh, it's craziness. So yeah, they'll just go bonkers. It's terrible. So yes, the bottom line here is superhero TV burnout is legit. It is real, especially with football going on right now. Anyway. Especially with basketball starting to heat up as well. You got college football playoffs are going to be around the corner before you know it. All right, we're in the meat of the NFL season, and we're supposed to be watching and enjoying 11 Marvel series and half a dozen DC series. It's too much. It's way, way, way too much.
Well, really, I think there's only 5 Marvel series now.
Well, yeah, but that was the plan, though, was 11 to come out within 12 months. It's not going to work, and obviously you can't throw that much mud at the wall and hope it sticks. It just doesn't work. Already, we're getting 3 Marvel movies in a year. And, well, nobody's complaining too loudly about that, but it's too much. It's absolutely too much content.
We have Captain Marvel, we have Avengers 4, and then Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yep.
And then this year we have that Spider-Man...
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
And then DC will have its one for the... Well, it had Justice League earlier this year, or was that last year?
That was last year.
Wow. I've already blotted that movie from my mind.
You've got Aquaman this year.
Aquaman will come out in December.
Did Justice League come out in November last year, right?
I think so. I think it might have been. I tried to blot that out from my mind, so apparently it worked. There's this wonderful drink. If you ever want to forget a movie, there's this wonderful drink called bleach. And, that a little of that will go a long way to forgetting those awful movies. Like Batman, Superman, like Suicide Squad, like Justice League.
Hey, Justice League was not bad. It could have been better, but it was not bad.
It should have been better. And a movie that big with that many big names in it should have been a lot better than it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was, good gracious. So overall, and I don't mind 3 Marvel movies in a year, but you know that I think, I'll have to double check on this, that Aquaman and Bumblebee and Alita, Battle Angel, are still supposed to come out the same day. I got to double check
Probably
on that.
Aquaman and Bumblebee for sure.
I think so. Did you see the trailer for Alita Battle Angel?
I have not.
You got to watch the latest trailer. That got me hyped. That looks really good.
Because I'm just going to pay money for Bumblebee and Aquaman.
Well, yeah, that too.
And, you know,
you might pay for Battle Angel.
Bumblebee will be for me. Aquaman will be for the lady.
Yeah, that's true. Jason Momoa, shirtless and wet for most of the movie, is going to be for the ladies. So, the couple other trailers that came out. Did you see the Dumbo live action trailer?
Man, I can't wait for that movie.
Brought to you by the mind of Tim Burton.
Right?
You know, the guy who brought you Alice in Wonderland. Ouch. You know.
And the new Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
The guy who brought you Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
The guy who brought you Batman 89.
Well, yeah, and then Batman 1991.
Let's not go there.
Very nice. Okay, so that'll wrap it up here. For Goose, for Aaron, who couldn't be here tonight, but we'll keep in our thoughts anyway. And for myself, I want to thank all of our sponsors, Texas Renaissance Festival, Dragon's Lair Alamo Ranch, Havoc, and The Mailing Spot. I want to thank you for listening, and make sure to get your geek on every single day.